everyone. This is Maliange with ArtisteTV, and we are here with Chef Jarvis doing a cooking demonstration. What do you have for us today, Chef Jarvis?
So today we're going to be doing a filet mignon steak,
Filet mignon?
and we're going to do some onions and some peppers and some tomato, a little bit of potatoes to go with it. And I'm going to do it medium rare, show you guys how to really eat a steak. We're going to do it with some Swiss chard that we have here. Do a pineapple sauce on top of it. It's going to be phenomenal. For dessert, we're going to do a deconstructed peach cobbler.
I am excited. Okay, so how did you start off this rub?
So I have my own jerk rub that I will not give you the ingredients to, but it includes cumin, salt, pepper. I use only a kosher salt, so this is a kosher sea salt. It's from the Pink Himalayan Mountains. And then I use a little bit more spices and berries, grind them all up, and this is what it turns out to be. You can show the people like that. Get a nice close-up of that. First thing we did was marinate that with a little bit of avocado oil. I use avocado oil because it has a higher smoke point, which means when you're smoking it or when you're cooking it, the heat can get way higher than regular vegetable oil once you put it on before your whole house or kitchen smells like smoke. So I love using avocado or peanut oil. So the first thing we did was marinate that. We're going to toss it onto the grill. I'll show you guys when that gets to a golden brown consistency. But here I have some pineapple.
Do you mind if I grab one?
No, please.
Okay, thank you.
Some pineapple. We have a little bit of lemons and some limes. We're going to cut these up. That's going to be phenomenal. We're going to squeeze that over top of the pineapple. Pineapple has natural acidity, but we're going to give it a little bit more flavor because you can use salt to intensify the flavor, or you can use more acid to intensify the flavor. A lot of people don't know that. That's another trade secret. This is free information. You guys got to remember this. All right? So first thing we're going to do is cut up a chunk of this pineapple. If you don't eat it all.
I know, it's so good.
I've diced up a little bit of the pineapple. I'm going to squeeze some lemon in, save the seed. That's just one wedge of lemon. And I'll do one wedge of lime. There you go.
That looks good.
Already. It's just the fruit.
I know.
So now we're going to cut up some basil, one of my favorite ingredients. I like to do a basil chiffonade, which is a very thin strip. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like in a couple of seconds. Now you're wondering why I cut so fast.
Why do they call it chiffonade?
Chiffonade, because chiffonade is a French word, and it means like a ribbon. So it's a very thin strip, basically the size of a ribbon, a very thin ribbon. And we'll get a close-up on that, and I'll show you exactly how that looks in a few. Okay. One more thing we're going to do is tomatoes. I love adding tomatoes because it's nice, full body, it's flavor. It also adds a very pretty color to all the ingredients in the bowl. So we'll do some color. You like tomatoes?
I do. I love tomatoes, especially in my salad.
Salad?
Yep.
A lot of people do not like warm tomatoes. I guess it's the difference between the consistency of it all.
So is this going to be part of the sauce, or?
Yes, this is going to be a part of the salsa.
Salsa, okay.
The salsa that's going to go on top of the meat. All right.
Good too.
Meat looks pretty done. So we're going to put that right on top of the garlic and the onions and the tomatoes.
Yes.
I'm going to take that and put it directly into the oven. First, we're going to put a little coat of brown sugar on top.
Can I do that?
Yeah, grab some.
Thank you.
She wants to be included.
I do.
Go ahead, help yourself. To balance that off, we're also going to take a little bit of lime and squeeze some lime over top of it. And that'll balance off the sweetness of the brown sugar. And my assistant, would you mind sliding that into the oven down there?
Sure will.
And we have the oven on 375, and we're going to let that cook for about 12 minutes. 375 for about 12 minutes, and it'll come out perfect. All right? Perfect.
Chef Jarvis, can you tell us about your background, how you got into
The
cooking,
culinary arts?
the culinary arts and everything?
Yeah, ironically, my father told me a story about 2 years ago. He told me that as a child, they would buy me gifts and presents and things like that. And I was about 1, maybe 2 years old. They would give me all of these gifts. I would play with the gifts in the living room, but eventually I would throw them to the wayside, come inside the kitchen, and he'd find me playing with the pots and pans. So things like that tell me that I've always been meant to live in the kitchen. But at the same time, I went through culinary art school at the Cordon Bleu.
Oh, wow.
I graduated from Morehouse with my undergrad, and I've been doing this for about 15 years.
15 years. And after college, what did you do? Did you travel abroad, or?
I did. I spent 6 months in Spain. I worked in a 4-star hotel. So
a 4-star hotel, okay.
Cool. 4-star hotel. I worked in the kitchen for about 6 months. and that was right on the coast. It was Mallorca, Spain. Right on the coast, you could literally walk to 3 different beaches from my job. We had siesta every day, so it was red wine and fruit all
Every
the time.
day?
Every day, all the time.
Wow. Okay.
And it was almost expected of you in Spain. Everybody takes a siesta. If you don't take a break, they get upset with you.
Wow.
But I didn't mind that at all.
Right.
I took my breaks. Had a phenomenal time. Then I traveled from Spain to Ghana, West Africa. I was in Ghana, West Africa for 4 months, where I actually started designing my own clothing line of chef clothes. This is one of the pieces. I'll show you guys a couple in a few. But started designing clothes, chef coats, chef pants, chef hats, and things of the sort. Left there. I traveled to Luxembourg, traveled to Paris, traveled to Milan. I traveled to about 25 different countries.
So were you able to like get into like the language and get familiar with the community?
Definitely. One thing I learned is you have to know about food, you have to know about currency, you have to know about survival when you go to different countries.
Okay.
So I learned about all 3 of those and just ate it right up. I can speak French. Parlez-vous français un peu?
Sí, pues.
But that's all I know.
What about Spanish?
Me habla español muy bien.
Okay.
I speak Spanish very well. I just came back from Costa Rica a couple of weeks ago. I was there for 10 days, able to cook for some of the locals there. That was a phenomenal time. I speak a little bit of Mallorquin, which is the language that they speak on the island of Mallorca. They also speak Catalan. Those are both dialects of Spanish.
Okay.
I already mentioned that I speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of German, but just enough to know if somebody's cheating me out of an extra finger, a chicken finger or something like that.
Really?
I know how to say beer. I can say beer in any language. That's
okay,
amazing.
can
Beer?
That's from where?
That's German. Beer.
Beer.
Beer
Beer.
is English.
English.
Beer is English from England.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So cerveza is Spanish. Cerveza is Mallorquin, and it's the same in Catalan. So really, if you just say beer or cerveza, that covers the majority of them. Like, something at that restaurant for about 2 months free. Just tell them you want to work for free.
But how would you survive though?
You get another job on the side. Yeah, you get another job, a part-time job on the side to survive.
Okay.
But you're not investing $58,000 in school.
Right.
So it really balances out.
Right.
So you take care of yourself with another job, and then once you finish working for them for about 2 months, pro bono, you ask for a job. Say, hey, I've been working here for free, now I'm on the job. Of course, be upfront and honest about it the entire time. But that's the route that I would take if I had to do it all over again.
Okay. And you said you have a clothing line. This shirt is really nice. Do you have any more samples that you would like to show?
I have a couple more samples just to the side there. This one, I was in Ghana, like I said, for 4 months, and it gets really hot. It was about 112 degrees over there when I was cooking. And sometimes chefs like, coats with no sleeves. So this is one that I had made. It's, of course, it's double-breasted, and it has the collar up top, and I can take this button off, just kind of let it hang down. So that's one different style. You can see the back of that.
I like that.
It's pink and black. I did this when breast cancer awareness came about. So the back has an adjustable strap, so you can make it as fitted or as loose as you want to. It's made out of a nylon material, so it doesn't burn up in the kitchen, and it also releases steam. So when your body gets hot in the kitchen, it expels the heat.
I am so excited.
Yeah, me too. It's hot, so be careful. Moonwalk behind you.
All right.
Toss it right there.
Thank you, Chef Jarvis, for joining us here today at ArtisteTV. At ArtisteTV, we want it to be a place to inspire creative individuals to live out their dreams. This is Marianne Charleston speaking, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Awesome. Hope you guys get to try this one day soon. Deconstructed peach cobbler and that medium rare steak. Get some of this.
Yes. It's so good.
Oh, man.
Yes.
That's phenomenal.